growing burden of cancer places it among the most pressing public health challenges. It is no longer a concern confined to specialized clinical settings. It is a broader society issue that touches families, communities, and healthcare systems. Addressing it requires not only advanced treatment, but also early detection, awareness, and sustained public health engagement. Institutions such as Fortis Healthcare, supported by global networks like IHH Healthcare, play an important role in strengthening this continuum. Their work reflects how integrated health systems, combining clinical expertise, diagnostics, research, and patient-centered approaches, can contribute to a more reliable and accessible care. In a field as complex as oncology, trust in institutions become a critical factor, both for patients and for the wider healthcare ecosystem. The challenge is complex, but so too is the collective expertise gathered here this evening. I extend my best wishes for the success of this summit and for the discussions that will follow. I am confident that the insight and ideas emerging from this platform will contribute meaningfully to advancing cancer care in India and beyond.
Welcome to the Fortis Cancer Summit 2026. Today our panel is Reimagining Cancer Care, Precision, Progress, and the Next Frontier. And today we bring together diverse voices, leaders from healthcare and science to investment and patient advocacy, to explore the many dimensions of cancer care. Before we begin, let me introduce our panelists. Joining me is Dr. Prem Nair, Group CEO, IHH Healthcare. Also joining us is Dr. Amit Verma, co-founder and managing partner, Quadria Capital. I would also like to introduce Dr. Anurag Agarwal, Dean Biosciences and Health Research, Ashoka University. And joining us is Ms. Jyotsna Govil, Chairperson, India Cancer Society, Delhi. A big round of applause as the India Cancer Society completes 75 years today. Thank you so much for joining us, I think, on this very, very critical conversation. And, hats off to Fortis for the Cancer Summit 2026. But before we begin, can we please hear the message from actor Sharmila Tagore? Unfortunately, she couldn't join us today. So let's hear what she has to say.
Namaskar. And my warmest greetings to all of you gathered at the Fortis Cancer Summit 2026. I speak today not as a specialist, but as one of you, as someone who has watched, like so many Indian families, the shadow of cancer fall upon those we love. And in that shadow, I have come to understand something the statistics cannot fully capture. Cancer today sits at the center of our national conversation about health. It touches the wealthy and the poor alike, the city and the village, the young and the old. And yet, despite extraordinary advances in medicine, despite the dedication of clinicians like so many of you in this room, for the patient and for the family that walks beside them, cancer remains a profound trauma. We must commit ourselves to prevention. We must commit ourselves to early detection. But above all, we must commit ourselves to treatment with a human touch, the kindness of a word, the patience of a listening ear, the assurance that no patient walks this road alone. That, to my mind, is the future of oncology in India. And it is a future I know is in your hands. Thank you. My blessings and very best wishes are with all of you.
That was a very powerful message, I think, for each one of us. But before we begin, I think, I want to start with you, Dr. Nair. We've spoken about cancer care. We heard the Honorable Chief Guest also speak about it. When it comes to precision oncology and increasingly AI-enabled diagnostics, we know that's kind of reshaping cancer care. Could you tell us what does this mean and for how large healthcare systems need to be redesigned, whether it's infrastructure or clinical decision making?
So, precision oncology and AI. So maybe I'll start with the AI part. We have actually had AI in healthcare for some time now. It's not really very new, but in very specific areas.
Yes.
And one of the, I would say, the most advanced and implemented at scale is in radiology. Today, in most of the countries that we operate in the hospitals, we have got AI-enabled radiology systems, either by the manufacturers themselves who install AI, or through intermediary companies that will translate a lot of the images into what we call the first read before the radiologist looks at it. So that's already become quite established. And we are now proceeding to do it in many other areas as well. Clinical pathways, for example, is one area where our medical team is working to standardize care, to have certainty of bill sizes, and help in procurement because we buy standardized equipment. So we are beginning to implement it. Our Chief Medical Officer's department is looking at that. So AI certainly is being implemented and at scale as well. Now, precision medicine, precision oncology, on the other hand, I would say while it has been proven, certainly in the area of oncology, for both diagnosis and treatment, I would like to say that it is available, but I would say it's not universally accessible, right, because of costs predominantly.
Dr. Verma, I want to ask you, obviously, investment is key for anything, right? Now, where is capital most actively shaping the future of cancer care today? We want your thoughts on that. Is it diagnostics? Is it drug development? Or is it the delivery models?
To specifically answer your question, the emerged world or the rich world runs towards the drug. The emerging nations run towards the infrastructure, hospitals, doctors, talent. And in the middle sits diagnostics. And diagnostics, to my mind, as an investor, is where the alpha of our returns are going to get generated, because diagnostics will help us get patients to the drug, and diagnostics will help us get patients to the infrastructure. So depending on a country's journey and cycle, and remember, in India, we will have to keep creating infrastructure for at least the next 10 years before we even make a dent. And I am very, very bullish of the idea of private and public capital coming together to enable us to actually reach the next platform.
Dr. Agarwal, we heard Dr. Nair speak about artificial intelligence in the beginning. Is AI an incremental enabler or a true disruptor when it comes to cancer care? Your thoughts on that?
Thank you very much. Great question. At a time when everybody is talking about AI.
Yes.
And I'm very conscious I'm sitting in a room with oncologists, including friends like Samir, who saw IBM Watson make claims of making cancer history. And we know how that one went. So what I would say is the answer is somewhere in between. Based on AI's ability to change today's cancer care, the effect is primarily on processes, allowing diagnostics to become better. That's primarily one area is going to go. Allowing better, efficient utilization, matching the people to the right protocol. But it simply allows us to do what a very good oncologist would do and perhaps make everyone slightly better. Where the real transformation is going to come is going to be in changing the architecture of how cancer treatment works. Ultimately, diagnostics will match a patient to a drug. It will not give you the new drug. Where AI will truly be transformative will be by completely changing the process of drug discovery, in changing the way we look at evidence. And this is an area that needs much more reform, because no matter what we do, currently we do averages-based thinking. The massive amounts of data, individualization, precision care beyond what we think today actually can't be handled by individual humans. It can only be done with AI. And if you look at the last year, we have seen completely AI-driven drug discovery. We have seen recently a paper 2 days ago where AI created new life with completely eliminating one amino acid, isoleucine. we are seeing the type of things that humans simply could not do. And that's where I think the true transformation of cancer care with AI will come.
Jyotsna ji, I would like to come to hear from you talking about treatment. The other three panelists, of course, talking about how cancer care is changing, right? What can be done. But from the preventive aspect, I want your thoughts here. Do you feel awareness and prevention is still taking a back seat?
So we as Indian Cancer Society, and I give credit to Dr. Jassawala, who was our founder, as you said, 75 years ago. I give him full credit for understanding that he could keep operating, he could keep working on patients, but nothing would improve until awareness was built and screening systems were provided. That is what we have concentrated on for 75 years. I listen to everybody. I know that you all have big operations, and our little place in Babar Road is a tiny blip on your horizon. But I request that you come and see what we do, because we are working at the grassroots. So if Muhammad didn't come to the mountain went to Muhammad.
Yes.
We go out to the boondocks around the NCR. We are sponsored because we can only do as much as we get. We are sponsored and we take screening out to them. Our detection center is in Babar Road, but every weekend we go to some place outside and offer that screening. As for awareness, we have gone from print awareness. We still do community conversations. We now have moved to digital information. We have a presence right across India in a faculty development program, in our own cancer fundamentals on the Swayam platform, and we have an app which we call Rise Against Cancer. I'm pretty sure none of you have seen it.
Well, thank you for sharing what all the Cancer Society has been doing. 75 years is a long journey, and like you rightly said, making sure, reaching out to those, the ones who need it the most. Can we please have a big round of applause for what the Indian Cancer Society has been doing and ensuring that, at least a step towards prevention. Thank you so much for sharing that. Dr. Nair, I'm coming back to where you had stopped. You had said accessibility, that big question mark. So it's been, on my mind, and I want to come back to that. Do you believe advanced cancer care, whether it's genomics, whether it's targeted therapy, whether it's immunotherapy, will it remain concentrated in a few, centers of excellence, or can it be democratized, especially if I can ask you for our country, India?
Yeah. So the answer is yes and no. Yes, because if you look at cancer, in most of the countries that IHH operates in, oncology was, from a specialty mixed viewpoint, it was in the low teens. Cardiac sciences was the biggest, right? Today, oncology has crept up to be in the mid-20s or 30s. So it's become a very, very significant condition. That's the first thing. Secondly, the market has a way of adopting technologies. May not be always at the pace that we want it to, but prices will begin to drop and it makes it more accessible. So I think it will definitely become more accessible, right?
Definitely become more accessible.
And yes, and we are doing, certainly, we are a private healthcare group. We certainly make it a point to ensure that this is available widely across our group.
Yes, I think the whole core reason of doing also this summit is to ensure that no one is left behind. And when you say with so much conviction that, we'll make sure it's accessible, I think that really means a lot. Dr. Verma, again, when we talk about breakthroughs, right, whether, like Dr. Nair also said, when we talk about breakthroughs in immunotherapy, in targeted therapies, are we entering a fundamentally different era of cancer treatment? But I want to ask you again from the investment perspective.
I can boldly proclaim that the era of tumor-specific cancer care is over. The era of needing to know how many breast cancer patients there are, how many thyroid patients there are, is gone, because we've now graduated to platforms. So for the past 5 years now, we are now in a stage, whether it's immunotherapy, it's CAR-T, it is biospecific receptors, ADCs, you name it. They are now frontline therapy. They are no longer viewed as something that is good to have. They have become necessary to have. And there have been 3 major things that have happened to make this happen. Number 1, the breakthrough results, and more importantly with the oncologists in the room, that they have made it part of the daily practice. So that has enabled us to now prove efficacy in patient populations. I think the second big thing that people don't realize is China's growth in this sphere. 25% of all innovation that's taking place in the world, especially in cancer, is coming out of China. And why that has become important is that it has brought down price points to levels that were unimaginable before. And the third, to my mind, which is very, very important as we go through, is the decoupling of pricing in emerging Asia, including India, from Western standards. And this will resonate with everybody in the room. CAR-T therapy anywhere in the world will cost anywhere from around $250,000 to $500,000. We can deliver it from $5,000 to $25,000. And we no longer need to use a Western stereotype to define price.
Dr. Agarwal, how close are we, close are we to making truly personalized cancer care the standard? And also, we've been talking about the progress. Yes, so much progress, so much transformation. But what are the barriers still which you see?
I'll take the last part first. I think the biggest barrier to true precision care is that we don't have the evidence frameworks to determine precision care. Our ways of generating evidence are still about average effects, large trials. To move to precision care the way Amit was describing in immunotherapy, every person having a potentially different cancer with a differently characterizable neoantigen, the use of that person's neoantigen to design a CAR-T construct or something else, or an antibody specific to that person, will be an entire new framework of evidence generation as well as science. And that's where the AI part that I said about in the previous would come up. And that's where the new biotechnology that is coming up will also come up.
All the stakeholders need to work together to make it even more accessible. Well, thank you for that. Jyotsna ji, of course, we know cancer care is all about people, resilience, and most importantly, hope. And considering the amount of work which you all have done, the India Cancer Society has been doing, what do you think the system is still getting wrong about cancer care?
What is going wrong in cancer care?
Where is the system still going wrong? What are the gaps, especially from a patient and the family's perspective?
Yes. I think for patients and families, the major issue is one, trust. If they don't trust the doctor, they keep shopping around, wasting time, wasting money, and allowing the cancer to grow in the meanwhile. The second thing is that we are a wonderful society for giving advice. People won't listen to their doctors, but they will listen to the neighbor next door who has his or her own theory. It creates doubts where there should be none.
So trust.
The second is to treat the patient with dignity. I'm sorry, but sometimes when you sit across the table with very important, very busy doctors, you don't get the feeling that they're actually listening. So when our volunteers go into those clinics, half the time they are repeating what the doctor has been telling them. It's necessary, and you need the support groups, because we firmly believe that cancer does not start in a hospital and it doesn't end there.
Before we close, quick remarks from all of you. I think it's going to be one simple question for all of you. If you're sitting here 10 years down the line, right, what's that one shift in cancer care you would want to see? And if that shift doesn't happen, obviously it would be a failure, right?
There was mention of prevention and screening earlier. And I think while we're talking about cancer care, treatments and all that, which are inevitably quite expensive, I think the biggest change that we can make is cancer education, cancer screening. Today, if you screen, I fully agree with Amit, if you pick up things early, I think that's probably the best thing that we can do.
So screening and prevention. Dr. Verma.
I'm going to stick to the 2 points I made. By 2036, 10 years from now, our outcomes, where I am in this geography, should be the same. And I really want the cancer pyramid to inverse, that we are seeing more early stage cancers rather than late stage cancers. If we don't do this, we've failed as a group.
Okay, ensuring that it's equal everywhere, accessibility across the country, great. And of course, comes back to prevention. If you screen it well in time, your cancer is caught early. Dr. Agrawal.
Prevention, but from a different perspective. A better understanding of our immune system that normally clears cancer cells every day. So prevention by better understanding of the preventive aspect of immunology.
Okay, again, so more about your own body immunity, yeah, immunology, okay? Last word to you, ma'am.
I want us to all work together. Don't exclude anyone, any sector, as too expensive, too crowded, too cheap, too ignorant. I think we all have something to contribute. Just work together.
I think working together, and that's what Mr. Gore had also said initially. It's each one of our responsibilities to work together, and that's why I think this summit plays such an important role. Thank you all so much for listening so patiently and being so interactive. It's really been a pleasure to have you all on this panel. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you.